Alright, I'm going to spend a day on the frame working only using my AEG tools. More specifically, I want to be trying out these new tools. These are from a limited edition 10-piece combo kit, and as you can see, they've got a whole new look from AEG's regular tools. But one thing that I'm most excited for is this new saw we're going to use, which is very different to the saw that I have been using. Firstly, one's a right-handed saw, one's a left-handed saw, and this new saw that I've got in the limited edition kit is a lot smaller than the one I have been using. So we'll get into all of that tomorrow when we're on site. But for now, we've got the issue of trying to find room in my car to store all these tools. The tools are locked up, ready to go for tomorrow. We'll jump in the frame and put them to use. So while we're testing these tools, we're going to continue through on what I think is day 13 of this frame series. So to start with, we're just going to start smashing work out while using the tools. And then once we've smashed out some work and have had a good proper use of the tools, we'll have a good look at the tools then, and I'll let you know what I think of them. Yep. Nice. Yep. Ready? What I'm going to do is we've got our line flicked, but same as any void, I'm just going to go through the level and make sure it runs up perfect from that void downstairs. Yeah. Sweet. This thing is so light. Bitch, you're used to using that small Makita saw. I want you to, it's the same size blade too. I want you to use this a bit today.
Small?
Yeah, but it's got power though. It definitely is smaller.
I reckon it personally shits on the Makita one, because I had the Makita one too that I started with.
Oh, you had the Makita as well, so you like that one more?
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed by it so far, but I mean, it's easy to say that when I've done 2 cuts. Oh, I definitely want to test ripping later. Even if we got to cut something for no purpose at all, I'm just keen to see how it goes ripping.
Yeah.
Because that might be where it struggles. Let's test it right now. A bit of F17. That's pretty good. Obviously it's got nowhere near the guts that you'll get out of a corded saw or like a 54 or 40 volt saw. I'm happy with that though, does what we need. Just checking, do we need that block?
Nah.
Good. Alright, let's get this wall up. I think the one thing that could be an issue, actually before I say too much on this, there might be an attachment to go on there in the bag, but I feel like right now the dust is just going to fling straight back at you. I'll check the bag downstairs though, there were a few bits and pieces, I haven't really kitted out these tools yet. You guys, are you right to shoot that bottom off?
Yeah, man.
And I'll bring that next door over. It's pretty good there. Pretty good there. So we're going to get this beam in between the 2 cleats. When the beam's in, we're going to temporarily put it in because we don't have bolts. So we'll put it in there, We then have to get F17 20 studs and load the beam onto the wall below it in both instances. And when that's done, we can build another F17 walls going all the way up. And that still there has holes for a top plate to sit on top of. We've got a bit of work to do in this corner here. We might spend a bit of time here. That's exactly 90. What's the size of our double laminated beams? About 92. Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. 2, the cleats are 140 wide as well. So that's marked at 100, that's not right. 140. You don't have a planner out, do you?
I can get it.
I'll quickly set this up instead of running to the car. I'll take 2 secs. Where's the depth adjustment? In the, oh, right there. It looks a bit different than usual. It's 2 mil. I'm gonna go. We'll go about 4 mil because I want it to sit in the wall space. Last thing I want to do is when we're plumbing up these walls is have to try plane off heaps of a beam. Is that 140 across there? Yeah. Sweet as. I'll do a few cuts down here. Ready to go. Oh, I'm in. Keep coming to me. Since we don't have the bolts, I'll use a screw to hold it in place for now. Oh, I'm reusing these screws. I've got her a bit dirty, but this is the first time we're going to use this new drill. I'm just going to pre-drill one of the holes, so when the bolts come, we're good to go. Hang on. That's on me there. There we go. The spade bit's definitely seen better days. Oh no. Can we get that? Yeah, we can. That drill is nice though. I do rate that. Goes alright. 140. These walls are going to be tight to put in. Oh, that's alright, we've got about 2 mil, probably 3 mil on that wall, that's what I want. This one will need a haircut. I do just want to sit them in place though, to make sure we mark out all of our studs in straight lines. From this point, I'm going to guess that they're just 450 centers, which works out perfect. There's nothing worse than if you have a large continuous saw like this with a break in the middle, and if you build it without the studs lining up, it looks quite poor. Alright, sweet as, I'll grab those off you please, the first lot anyway. This is hard to get the timber flush working on the scaffold. Then ready? I will pick her up and slide her in. Nice. Nice. Sweet. Blonde bit definitely doesn't help. Perfect. So I've just gone through, we're replumbing up this steel at the front. It all got knocked out for the scaff. So that one's good now. For this one, I need to try to pull it out and then screw it in there. And I was trying to pull it out, get it right and clamp it, but it kept moving. So we should have a look at a quick trick we can do. If we get a clamp, pull that out like so, and we slide it in at the end. Clip that in, and then now we can put the clamp in like this. And that's actually perfectly level right there. It should work perfectly now. So that's held in place. We can release the clamp. And how's that? That's solid. Alright, so if you saw the video I posted before this one here, you would have seen that I've recently gone through and unboxed all of these new limited edition black AEG tools. We're talking the exact same model number between these tools. The motor's the same, the body's the same, everything is exactly the same between these two multi-tools, apart from the colouring. Obviously, I love my tools, and I know so many other people that are actually keen to go out and buy this kit, just because it is a limited edition. It's a cool looking kit that you can only get now. I don't know how long this 10-piece limited edition is lasting for, but I do love the idea behind it. So one thing I have been looking at is this saw. I have said a few times that it is a completely different saw to the one that I have been using. Even holding it right now, I can notice that weight difference. This one's actually quite awkward to hold with the weight that it is, and that's without the battery. But this smaller saw has bbeen amazing. So I got the larger saw in the 6-piece combo kit, and this smaller saw comes in the 10-piece combo kit. Obviously, some key differences is that we've got a 185mm blade in this saw, a 165mm blade in this saw, so the saw blade is smaller. And this blade can spin 5,000 times in a minute with no load, compared to this one, which is 5,400 times. So it is a bit quicker. Obviously, it's spinning a larger blade too. So this saw is slightly more powerful than the smaller saw. But one thing I've talked about a lot, especially with 18-volt tools, is you're not buying these for an absolute powerhouse of a saw. Most people I work with now that do have 18 volt tools, they will be using their 18 volt saws for everything. They do the job. And in that regard, you have to understand that if you're cutting heaps of timber or you're doing heaps of rips, the 18 volt saws aren't going to be as powerful as a corded saw or potentially a 54 or 40 volt saw. They just definitely don't have the power to keep up with that. But the one good benefit about these saws is that they're small, they're easy to use. The best thing is I can hold the saw in one hand and I can move it in any direction I want, and it's not too heavy, it's not a strain in the arm, because that's massive if you're trying to do awkward cuts in a roof, or if you're trying to do random cuts in a random location. You need to be able to hold the saw, and you need to hold it strong and steady. If you start shaking, you're going to screw up your cut. So one video I'm working on right now, I mentioned it in the unboxing, is I'm going to do a massive head-to-head test with all of these tools and all of the other tools I bought. And I had a comment on the unboxing, I love the idea, and I'm going to do what that comment said by testing these saws' capabilities of ripping a plumb cut on a 45. Now, I don't have a truss roof that I'm going to go through and cut the tails off, so I'm just going to mock up something. But essentially what we will be doing is twisting the saw to the 45, and we're not going to be cutting straight down, we're going to be cutting on an angle as well. And this is going to test two things. Firstly, how easy it is to hold that saw in an unfamiliar, uncomfortable position. 9 times out of 10, you'll be holding the saw straight down like that cutting. So we'll be testing what it's like to hold the saw like this way. And we'll also be testing how easy it is to cut through the timber with the saw set on the 45 bevel, cutting on a slight degree. Now, another thing we'll be testing is the performance of the drills and driver. I'm not going to talk about this for too long because I have used AEG's drill and driver for a while. Obviously not the limited edition black stuff. This just looks awesome. But I've said multiple times that I think the handles, the grips on this drill and driver are some of the best in the market. I love the hold of these tools. I have done a few tests before, just with the impact driver, and it's actually blown away the competition. The only thing about that test though is I was testing a brand new AEG tool compared to used older models. So now that I do have heaps of brand new tools, we're really going to be able to see how these AEG tools compare. And the last two tools I want to have a quick look at today is our impact wrench and the hammer drill, rotary hammer drill. Firstly, it's cool having this protective cover over the impact wrench. If you haven't seen the unboxing, the impact wrench comes like this, and we have this protective cover that goes over it. I can only speculate that that is to try to look after the tool if you drop it, if you knock it. I'm sure there probably is a few other reasons. If there are, I don't understand why this has a protective cover and no other tools do. I did just want to double check, and this protective rubber is included to protect the tool from full damage, scrapes, and corrosive solvents. So it is cool that this has a protective cover. Then the question is, why can't we get protective covers for the rest of the tools? Especially the drill and the impact driver, because they're the two tools I'm probably going to be using a lot more than the impact wrench. I'm looking at Bunnings website as well. I don't know if that's focusing, but the cover looks really cool on the old orange tools. You can see the handle coming down there with glimpses of orange. Obviously on the impact wrench, I think this tool is just a bit too black. Obviously the white writing over the logo there, over the cover will look awesome. I'm guessing the reason they didn't do that is because this is a cover expected to get knocked around and get scraped. So they're probably thinking that if that was white, it would get rubbed off and scraped up in no time. Now the rotary hammer is also a good looking piece of kit. I can't fault it on initial feel. As most AEG tools, the handles are really great. Even if you're not an AEG fan, I just recommend that next time you're in Bunnings or a tool shop, go to the AEG aisle and just hold a few of their tools. It's definitely one thing that AEG have really perfected, just getting that good handle, that good feel for the tools. It's got the rafter hook too, inbuilt into the rotary hammer, which is awesome. I don't think there'll be a lot of times I need to use that. Most of the time that I'm using a rotary hammer, it's going to be on the ground. Obviously there'll be a few times going through masonry walls or something, but most of this time I won't be needing that. It's good to have it though when I need it. These are two tools that we unfortunately didn't get to use yet on the frame, but I will be using these in the up and coming tests that we will be doing. And if you are watching this video and you are interested in this 10-piece kit, it's probably good to know that we do have the dual charger as well. This is the only 10-piece combo kit that did give the dual charger. And we got the vacuum, I think it's technically called the dust extractor. We do have a few accessories in the bag poled under these tools as well, which gives us a good reach and a typical vacuum head so we can run this along the ground. In terms of the grinder and also the reciprocating saw, once again, I'm going to say the same thing. I really like the handle, especially for the grinder. I think grinders are one tool that gets built wrong so often. So many grinders have that same thickness of the motor, continue the whole way down, and you can't get a really good grasp on the handle. And the other thing is that we do have that safety switch and the trigger to push down. The grinders that have that little push tab to turn it on, do my head in. I do like that tool, and the Recip is also a good feeling tool. In terms of their performance, the power, everything about those tools, in my opinion, they're pretty average to the rest of the market. They don't stand out. They haven't blown me away the way that the Drill, Impact and Saw have, but we definitely will be getting a bit more information out of these tools when we do that head-to-head video. Anyway, one last thank you for AEG for sending me these tools. I do love the new limited edition look. It's really cool to have these out on site and be using them. There will be a lot more content coming out on my page, maybe some more shorts as well, as I do more work with these tools and discover the capabilities, discover what is good and what is not good about these tools. So thanks for watching this video, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of these tools in the coming weeks as we put all these big brands head to head.